Hey there. In the American South, hospitality isn't just about sweet tea on the porch or waving to your neighbor. It's an unspoken code, a set of traditions and quiet expectations passed down through generations. And while most visitors see only the warmth and charm, locals know that every smile, every handshake, and every small gesture can carry a deeper meaning. Here, the rules aren't always written down. They're woven into the rhythm of Sunday dinners, church gatherings, and backyard cookouts. They decide whether your family's name is whispered with admiration or with disapproval. Because in a place where reputation is currency, breaking even the smallest social custom can leave a mark that lingers for years. It could be something as simple as forgetting to send a thank you note, choosing the wrong moment to leave a party, or giving a gift that says the wrong thing. And the tricky part? Sometimes you won't even realize you've crossed the line until the invitations stop coming. Today, we're stepping into that delicate world to uncover the secret rules of Southern hospitality and the subtle missteps that could quietly ruin your family's name. In the American South, hospitality is more than a tradition. It's a finely tuned social system. It's a performance of grace, a ritual of manners, and a quiet battleground of reputation. And at the center of this system lies one deceptively simple gesture, the invitation. To be invited is to be acknowledged, to be included, to be seen as part of the social fabric. But to be left out, to be overlooked, omitted, or forgotten is to be quietly judged. It's a message that doesn't need to be spoken aloud. Everyone understands it. Everyone feels it. The invitation in Southern culture is never just about attending an event. It's about status, lineage, behavior, and belonging. It's a signal of who matters, who's trusted, and who's earned their place. And it's a signal that can be revoked at any time. Let's begin with the basics. In many Southern towns, social life revolves around a handful of institutions: the church, the country club, the school, and the neighborhood. These are the arenas where invitations are issued and reputations are made. A family that's well regarded will be invited to everything from baby showers to barbecues, from charity galas to crawfish boils. Their presence is assumed. Their absence is noticed. But for families who are new to the area, or who haven't yet earned their stripes, the invitation is elusive. It may come slowly, cautiously, and conditionally. A casual dinner invite might be extended as a test. Will they dress appropriately? Will they bring a hostess gift? Will they send a thank you note afterward? These small gestures are not optional. They are essential. They are the currency of Southern hospitality. Failing to meet these expectations can have consequences. A family that arrives late, forgets to RSVP, or brings store-bought potato salad to a homemade potluck may find themselves quietly excluded from future gatherings. No one will say anything directly, but the next time there's a party, their names won't be on the list, and they'll know why. This system is especially potent in smaller towns, where everyone knows everyone and memories are long. A single social misstep can echo for years. A forgotten birthday card, a missed funeral, a poorly timed joke. These things are remembered, and they affect who gets invited. Children are not exempt from these dynamics. In fact, they're often the first to feel the sting of exclusion. A child who isn't invited to a classmate's birthday party may not understand why, but their parents will, and they'll take note. They'll remember which families included their child and which didn't. And those memories will shape future invitations. Church events are another arena where invitations carry weight. Being asked to join a Bible study, serve on a committee, or attend a prayer breakfast is a sign of trust and inclusion. Being left out is a sign of caution or worse, disapproval. The church is not just a place of worship, it's a social hub, and the invitations issued there carry enormous significance. Weddings are perhaps the most fraught of all. The guest list is a minefield of expectations, obligations, and potential offenses. Inviting someone signals alliance. Not inviting them can ignite a feud. A single omission can fracture relationships, spark gossip, and alter reputations. And once the damage is done, it's hard to undo. Even funerals carry weight. Who attends, who speaks, who sends flowers, all are noted. A family that fails to show up for a neighbor's loss may find themselves excluded from future gatherings. In the South, grief is communal, and participation is expected. The invitation is also a tool of reconciliation. A family that's been on the outs might receive a gesture of goodwill, a dinner invite, a holiday card, a seat at a fundraiser. Accepting it with grace can begin the slow process of re-entry. Declining it, however, can seal the divide. There's also a hierarchy of invitations. A casual backyard barbecue is one thing. A formal dinner party is another. And the most exclusive events, debutante balls, cotillions, and charity galas are reserved for those with deep roots and impeccable reputations. Being invited to these events is a badge of honor. Being left out is a quiet condemnation. The invitation system is not arbitrary. It's based on a complex web of factors: family history, church attendance, manners, generosity, discretion, and loyalty. A family that's generous with their time, respectful in their speech, and consistent in their presence will be included. A family that's loud, unreliable, or overly ambitious may be excluded. And the rules are rarely written down. They're passed through generations, whispered between neighbors, and enforced through silence. A child learns early. Say yes, ma'am, write thank you notes, never arrive empty-handed. These lessons are not just about politeness. They're about survival. The emotional impact of exclusion can be profound. Families who are left out often feel confused, hurt, and isolated. They may try harder, attend more events, host more dinners, volunteer more hours. Or they may withdraw, deciding that the effort isn't worth the pain. Either way, the social fabric is affected. But inclusion can be transformative. A single invitation can open doors, build bridges, and create lifelong friendships. It can signal acceptance, trust, and respect. It can make a family feel seen, valued, and connected. And that's the power of the invitation. It's not just a piece of paper or a text message. It's a symbol, a signal, a statement. To be invited is to be welcomed. To be excluded is to be warned. And in Southern hospitality, that warning can last a lifetime. In the South, the first impression isn't just a moment, it's a declaration. It's a handshake, a hug, a smile, a tone of voice. It's the way you carry yourself, the way you look someone in the eye, the way you say their name. And it matters more than most outsiders realize. Because in Southern hospitality, the greeting is not just a courtesy, it's a test. The stakes are high. A greeting can open doors or close them. It can establish trust or sow suspicion. It can make someone feel welcome or make them feel like an outsider. And once that impression is made, it's hard to change. Let's start with the handshake. In many Southern communities, the handshake is still king. It's expected, respected, and scrutinized. A good handshake is firm, but not aggressive. It's confident, but not arrogant. It's accompanied by eye contact, a smile, and a verbal greeting. Nice to meet you. Glad you're here, or welcome. Anything less is noted. A limp handshake is a red flag. It suggests weakness, disinterest, or poor upbringing. A crushing grip, on the other hand, can be seen as showy or overcompensating. The balance is delicate, and the judgment swift. Elders especially pay attention. A young person who offers a proper handshake earns respect. One who doesn't may be quietly dismissed. Then there's the hug. In the South, hugs are common, but not universal. They're reserved for family, close friends, and certain social settings. A hug offered too soon can be seen as presumptuous. A hug withheld can be seen as cold. The context matters. At church, hugs are more acceptable. At formal events, they may be frowned upon. Knowing when to hug and when not to is part of the social code. The side hug, the full embrace, the pat on the back each carries meaning. A side hug is casual, friendly, and safe. A full embrace is intimate, emotional, and reserved. A pat on the back adds reassurance or signals a quick exit. Misreading these cues can lead to awkwardness or worse, offense. And then there's the kiss on the cheek. In some southern circles, especially among older women or in more genteel settings, this gesture is still practiced. But it's rare, and it must be earned. Offering it too soon, or to the wrong person, can be seen as inappropriate. Receiving it without grace can be seen as rude. Beyond physical gestures, the verbal greeting is crucial. Hello, good morning, how are you? These are not throwaway phrases. They are rituals. They must be delivered with sincerity, warmth, and attention. A rushed greeting, a distracted tone, or a failure to respond properly can be interpreted as disrespect. Names matter. Using someone's name in a greeting shows attentiveness and respect. Mispronouncing it, forgetting it, or using the wrong title, Mr., Mrs., Miss, Doctor, can be damaging. In the South, titles are important. Calling someone sir or ma'am is expected, especially by younger people. Failing to do so can be seen as poor manners or bad parenting. Body language is part of the greeting. Standing up when someone enters the room, removing your hat, offering a seat, these are gestures of respect. Crossing your arms, looking away, or checking your phone during a greeting sends the wrong message. It says, I'm not interested, I don't care, or you're not important. Timing matters too. Arriving late to a gathering and offering a rushed greeting can be seen as inconsiderate. Arriving early and lingering awkwardly can be seen as intrusive. The sweet spot is punctuality with purpose, showing up on time, prepared to engage, and ready to greet. Children are taught these rules early. Parents coach them. Look them in the eye, speak clearly, say yes ma'am, don't mumble. These lessons are not just about politeness, they're about survival. A child who greets properly earns favor. One who doesn't may be quietly excluded. The greeting also sets the tone for future interactions. A warm, respectful first impression creates a foundation of trust. It opens the door to conversation, collaboration, and community. A poor greeting creates distance, suspicion, and silence. And in the South, silence speaks volumes. Social events are built around greetings. The church foyer, the country club entrance, the school fundraiser, all are stages for the performance of hospitality. People watch. They notice who greets whom, how they do it, and what it means. A missed greeting can be interpreted as a snub. An overly enthusiastic one can be seen as insincere. There's also a gender dynamic. Men are expected to greet with firmness and respect. Women are expected to greet with warmth and grace. These expectations are rooted in tradition, and while they're evolving, they still shape behavior. A man who greets too softly may be seen as weak. A woman who greets too coldly may be seen as unfriendly. Race and class also play roles. In some communities, greetings are used to reinforce social hierarchies. Who greets first? Who initiates physical contact? Who uses titles? All can reflect underlying power dynamics. Navigating these layers requires sensitivity, awareness, and humility. The greeting is also a moment of vulnerability. It's the first step into a relationship, the opening of a door. It requires courage, presence, and sincerity. And when done well, it creates connection. When done poorly, it creates distance. In Southern hospitality, the greeting is not optional. It's essential. It's the beginning of everything. And it's remembered. A good greeting can lead to friendship, opportunity, and respect. A bad one can lead to exclusion, gossip, and regret. So when you walk into a room, extend your hand, offer your smile, and speak with intention. Because in the South, the way you say hello may determine whether you're ever invited back. In the South, hospitality doesn't end when the guests leave. It lingers. It echoes. It lives on in the quiet gestures that follow the thank you notes, the leftover containers returned, the phone calls, and most of all, the follow-up visits. These visits are more than social niceties. They're rituals. They're affirmations. They're the final brushstroke on the canvas of a gathering. And when done well, they deepen relationships. When done poorly, they can unravel them. A follow-up visit is a way of saying, I'm still thinking about you. That time we shared mattered. I want to keep the warmth alive. It's a gesture of continuity, of care, of emotional investment. And in the South, where relationships are cultivated like gardens, that kind of investment is everything. But not all follow-up visits are created equal. There's a right way and a wrong way to drop by. And the difference lies in timing, tone, intention, and respect. Let's start with the right way. A thoughtful follow-up visit begins with awareness. You consider the host's schedule, energy, and emotional state. You don't show up unannounced the morning after a big party when they're still cleaning up and recovering. You wait. You give space. You let the dust settle. And then, when the moment feels right, you reach out. You call first, or text, or send a note. I'd love to drop by sometime this week. When would be good? This question shows respect. It gives the host control. It honors their time. And in the South, honoring someone's time is a form of love. When you arrive, you bring something. A small gift. A plate of cookies. A bouquet from your garden. A handwritten note. These tokens aren't about value. They're about thoughtfulness. They say, I appreciate you. I remember. I care. And in the South, thoughtfulness is the highest currency. You don't stay too long. A follow-up visit is meant to be light, warm, and affirming, not exhausting. You read the room. You watch for cues. You linger just long enough to share a story, offer thanks, and deepen the bond. And then you leave with grace. You speak with warmth. You mention the gathering. That peach cobbler was divine. Your home felt so welcoming. I loved seeing your family together. These comments affirm the host's effort. They validate the experience. They say, you did something beautiful. And in the South, beauty deserves acknowledgement. You listen. You ask about the host's well-being. You show interest in their life beyond the event. How's your mama doing? Is your son still playing ball? I saw your garden blooming looks lovely. These questions create connection. They say, I see you. I remember. I care. You offer help gently. Can I take those dishes back for you? Need a hand with anything? But you don't insist. You don't take over. You let the host lead. You follow their rhythm. You respect their space. And when you leave with warmth. Thank you for the visit. I'm so glad we got to catch up. Let's do this again soon. These words linger. They echo. They keep the door open. That's the right way. Now let's talk about the wrong way. The wrong kind of follow-up visit begins with assumption. You show up unannounced, expecting to be welcomed. You knock loudly, or worse, walk right in. You treat the host's home like your own. And in the South, that kind of entitlement is deeply offensive. You stay too long. You settle in, oblivious to the host's fatigue, schedule, or mood. You dominate the conversation. You ignore cues. You make the visit about you. And in the South, self-centeredness is the fastest way to lose favor. You bring nothing. No gift, no note, no gesture. You arrive empty-handed, expecting warmth without offering any. And while Southern hosts are gracious, they notice, they remember, they file it away. You criticize. The music was a little loud. I think the chicken was dry. Some folks didn't seem to get along. These comments, even if meant as feedback, feel like attacks. They diminish the host's effort. They turn a celebration into a critique. And in the South, criticism wrapped in casualness is still criticism. You gossip. You talk about other guests. Did you see what she was wearing? I heard they're having trouble. He seemed off. These remarks create tension. They breed distrust. They say, I'm not loyal. And in the South, loyalty is sacred. You overstep. You wander through the house. You open cabinets. You make yourself too comfortable. You forget that you're a guest. And in the South, forgetting your place is a quiet disgrace. You leave abruptly, without warmth. No thank you. No affirmation. No connection. Just a rushed goodbye. And that kind of exit leaves a chill. Follow-up visits are delicate. They require emotional intelligence, cultural awareness, and genuine care. They're not about obligation. They're about opportunity. An opportunity to deepen a bond, to affirm a memory, to build a legacy. Southern families often teach the art of follow-up early. Children are taught to return dishes, to say thank you, to check in. Go take this pie plate back to Miss Linda. Call your aunt and thank her again. Drop by and see how she's doing. These lessons aren't just about manners. They're about community. Because in the South, community is built in the moments after the party, in the quiet visits, in the lingering warmth, in the gestures that say, I'm still here. Follow-up visits also serve as emotional bridges. They allow hosts and guests to reflect, to share, to connect beyond the surface. They turn events into relationships. They turn gatherings into stories. And they're remembered. A guest who follows up with grace is seen as thoughtful, loyal, and well-raised. One who doesn't, forgettable at best, disrespectful at worst. So the next time you attend a Southern gathering, don't let the connection end at the door. Reach out. Drop by. Do it right, because in the South, the party may end, but the hospitality never does.